And a Lafayette veteran now has a roof over his head this holiday season after he's spent the past several years calling the streets of Lafayette home. News 18 this morning shares 58-year-old Stanley Sumner's story about what it was like to be homeless, especially during the holidays. Most days you could find 58-year-old Stanley Sumner cooking. It's one of his favorite things to do.
I've got some potato soup.
I put a lot of spices and vegetables in it.
But cooking a warm, homemade meal now comes as a luxury to him.
Oh, it's great. It's a big difference from being on the street.
For the past several years, Sumner called the streets of Lafayette home. No food, no bathroom, and no place to sleep.
Last winter, I had 3 trespassing charges against me because I fell asleep in public places.
Before he found himself living on the street, Sumner spent 4 years in the U.S. Army, where he first learned how to cook. He then went on to be a cook at several restaurants in the greater Lafayette area. But times got hard for Sumner a few years ago, and he eventually found himself living on the streets for about 2 years.
I never realized how much I had to worry about where I was going to go to the bathroom until I was homeless. You have to worry about where you're going to be the next hour or the next 45 minutes.
But he doesn't have to worry about situations like those anymore. For the first holiday season in 2 years, he finally has a home and doesn't have to worry about when or where his next meal will come from.
I'm stocked up. I got plenty of meat. I got plenty of canned goods. Got canned goods up there, got canned goods down here.
It's all thanks to a housing voucher aimed at getting homeless veterans off the street.
Stan was our first recipient of a number of HUD-VASH vouchers. That means through HUD and the VA, they have a housing voucher that's like a Section 8 voucher for housing. And it goes to particular veterans who had been chronically homeless before.
Rick Mummy works as Sumner's case manager at Lafayette Transitional Housing. He says this past year they've assisted 88 homeless veterans and their families in the community, but that number is one less now that Sumner has his own home with a kitchen again to not only feed himself, but to cook for others too.
I give my neighbors a lot of food too. I cook for them as much as I do for me. It was just being confident enough to be able to do something to help out. Pay back, and that's what I try to do, because everybody's been helping me for a while, and it's time for me to pay back a little bit too.